we
All right.
there you go. Problem solved. Thank you, Richard.
Okay.
Okay, so feel free to stop me whenever you feel like it, okay? Because I'll try to pack as many concepts as it possible within time. And then I'm sure that we will need to revisit some of them at a later stage when the actual thing becomes a real process rather than just a talk. You want to start? Yes, Richard.
Before to start, I want to add something which I think is very important for you as you're in charge for the academic part. I already had the main discussion with Roman and already prepared everything. I already sent this to the other department and they're already preparing the agreement. Mauro Cicolin department for the agreements. And Roman has his office in Bratislava, but we were speaking as well about Košice eventually and Prague eventually. So there will be two centers, one in Bratislava and one in Prague, and eventually a satellite center in Košice or any other location that maybe Roman will think over, or Croatia, etc. Just to make it, to summarize a little bit about this point. So we already finalized everything. The main point, which is concerning the business side. So this is why on the second meeting, as usually, you know, Sarah, I bring you on board the academic part. And then on top of that, I wanted to discuss as well with Roman the concept of the Danish people. Remember that we had this, and I think this is a very important point as well. So now it's all yours, Sarah, and I will not interfere anymore.
Oh, not to worry. Feel free to jump in as well. But I think you know the drill already by now. So I'll start very institutional and then I'll move on towards the academic part. So XCL, when we created XCL, we used all the stuff that we already promoted through our Italian university, which is called Nicola Cusano, that was founded in 2006, has already 45,000 students and graduated around 100,000 of them. And the main idea was to provide students with the opportunity to study whatever they wanted, but with still a quality education. So we were one of the first, if not the first, in Italy to provide online distance learning education at that time. Now, the idea is basically the same with XCL. So all our courses are developed and designed to be the same, whether you are studying face-to-face in our campus, or you are studying at your home, or you're studying in a learning center, or you do a hybrid of the two situations. So let's say, for example, you might have someone that wants to start in your center and then they want to come for 6 months in London or do 1 year in Rome or whatever. They can do that and they will have the same experience that they have in your center. How is that possible? Well, it's possible because we do the teaching, we create everything, and your role in this case would be to provide them with a nice, safe environment where there are all the technological tools they might need, which is computers, nothing more, and a reliable network. That's about it. And maybe a person that would like to, sort of work as an intermediary between the students you have in your center and us at XCL in UK. That doesn't mean that the students cannot contact us. They can, they should, they will. Okay. But to make it sort of nicer for them and to make your business more valuable, it's always, in a certain sense, good if they have a human contact within the center. Now, all our teaching is done live. This means that our courses are live through a platform and distributed everywhere, from let's say from the UK to Italy to Greece to Prague to India to Belize to wherever you think, okay, at the same time, in the same way. This allows us to basically have people from a huge variety of regions and countries and make all the learning extremely international. How we can do that? We can do that through the platform that we have. So we have a virtual learning environment, which is great in the sense that it contains all the courses that the students will be enrolled into with the same standard approach. and the students will know what to do and what not to do. And they have the assignment briefs inside, all the materials, all the possible reading stuff that they need to have, which are free and are included in the tuition fees. So they don't have to pay on top of it.
Okay.
And we also have a system that Harvard University uses, which is called Kaltura, and it serves two purposes. The first one, which is the easiest one, is it can be used as a tool to record videos and upload them for their teachers to do some of the coursework that we ask them to actually do, so they don't have to pay additional money to get those done. But mainly it's our virtual learning classroom. So they will have a virtual classroom that looks exactly like a normal classroom with the digital whiteboards. They can look at PowerPoints, PDFs, YouTube videos, any other TEDx videos that you can think of. We have the opportunity to do quizzes, live, polls, chats, breakout rooms. So while they work together, let's say in smaller groups, because there's a case study, they need to discuss and analyze it. They have the opportunity to be in smaller groups where the teacher can go and hop from one to the other in order to check that everyone is doing what they're supposed to be doing. Everything is then recorded, which means that then we can upload the recording of the lesson into the platform, and is available usually the day after for the students to look at. And that includes also captions. Why are these important? Because the majority of our students, the English is not their first language, which means they can have support in this because they can download the captions. It's a sort of complete notes of the session. So that's good. They don't have to take notes if they don't want to. But mostly it's important in case some of them have some learning disabilities. Let's say they cannot understand properly. So that's a big help for them in that regard too. When we do the recording that goes to the platform, students are required to at least be present live for the 80% of the total course. And we have scheduled around 10 to 15 hours per week per module. Now, the way that the modules work are like this. So we take the entire semester, which is usually 12 weeks. We divide it into 2 blocks of 6 weeks each. So every module is taught in a 6 weeks intensive block, okay? Yeah. And there are no more than 2 modules running at the same time. Why did we do that? To avoid situations where students would have 4 modules at the same time and they had to submit and study for final exams or submit everything for 4 modules. So in this case, they will submit usually during week 3 and week 6, the maximum of 2 modules. Now, it's worth mentioning that we do not do final exams. We do not believe in repeating and learning from a huge textbooks, and then they have to be, tested with a quiz or a multiple choice task on something that doesn't give them any value at the end of it, because then in a week time, they would forget everything. So what we want them to do is to concentrate on learning the theories. They apply them throughout the 10, 15 hours per week during what we call project work time. And then they have to submit a coursework. It could be either an essay, a poster, a group presentation, or anything that has an actual value, a practical value to it. And we ask them to participate in classes. So these 10 to 15 hours per week are usually divided into several different types of teaching and learning. So you have, first of all, the traditional lecture. So, the professor comes in, explain the theory, that's it. Then there are seminars where those can be student or a professor led, depending on the topic, and they're very research oriented. And then we go through what we call preparation classes. So students have been given a reading list of free materials. They have to read through that before the start of the week, and then they come in and discuss what they have read, what's their thought on something, if they found out something else, and then we grade them on this. So it's much more a sort of making sure they do not fall behind in those 6 weeks. So we don't want them to fall behind in any modules. And that is an important task for us. And then we have what we call project work. So it's either a time for them to meet in group or individually with the lecturer and the tutor to discuss specific topics related to the assignments that they need to submit, or they can do simulations, case studies, they work together, and then that will inform still the assignment brief, the assignment task that they will have to hand over. Now I can get very technical, so please stop me if it's too much academic stuff. But for me, it's really important that you understand that we try to give them the opportunity not to fall behind and to get a very practical sense of what they're doing at any given time. So we have 4 different intakes throughout the year. It's the traditional September, November, January, and March, which is a bit different from what other UK universities do, because usually it's the 1 intake, maximum 2. Yeah. Now, why do we do that? Because with the 6 weeks block teaching, whenever someone comes in, they will join a different class. And they will have different people throughout the time they are there. But because the course has been designed to be cyclical in that sense, it doesn't really matter what you start with. It just makes you, gives you the opportunity to avoid wasting months to wait for the proper traditional September intake. Now, when it comes to that, the admissions process is key. So our admission process is very straightforward. So we have the what we call entry requirements that could be academic and English related. So with the academic, what we do is if the prospective students doesn't reach the minimum, okay, we have a lower level, which usually is the foundation year that is integrated within the bachelor. So if they pass successfully all the modules, they go straight into the bachelor. They don't have to reapply. It's automatic, which is great. So that it's not a separate kind of year. It's just automatic. In terms of English language, we require something that is equivalent at least to IELTS. So we have, for example, a 5.5 for a foundation level, a 6.0 for a bachelor, 6.5 for a master. Now, of course, these are not set in stone. So let's say, for example, that you have someone that has the academic abilities and everything in order to get into a master, but they only scored a 6.0. It's not like we say, no, we don't take him. But we will have first an interview with them. We all understand that under pressure, there's an exam, there might be loads of reasons behind why they scored a 6.0. We might sit down and have a nice informal conversation, and they seem perfectly fine in order to get into that level of depth that is required from a master level. In that case, they go straight into the master. If we see that, for example, there's some gaps that we have that concerns that they might not be able to, then we can offer them an intensive English course prior to entry, which means you will still get the student. They will just start 2 weeks, 3 weeks, depending on the level, on the level that we assess these prospective students is at, to just start then together with someone else. Let's say, for example, they come to you in September, they want to start in September, they might not be able to, they will start in November, they will do the English course prior to that, job done. Yeah. Now, the interview is very simple, it's very informal. We ask I would say, silly questions. It is not just, it's not about academics, it's about understanding whether they understand the topics, they know how to answer, and they can put English in context. We might ask something like, for example, what was your favorite subject in high school or during your undergraduate degree? Why did you choose that specific course? What would you like to do after that? That kind of things that are very general, nothing to worry about, and so forth. Now, from beginning to end of the admissions process is usually 1 week.
All right.
And I say 1 week because it really depends on the student availability to sit down for an interview. We do interviews with everyone for the sake of just being reassured, especially if they're doing, because in your center they would be considered distance learning rather than face-to-face, that this person that we received the documents is the same one that he's applying and is genuine. And this is nothing to do with the trust that we have on you. It's simply because then we need to then demonstrate our due diligence to the UK government. So we do that passage to make sure that everyone is safe and secure in what we are doing and how we are doing it. If the student is available for even earlier than that, it takes 2 days, 3 days top to have an offer letter, no more nor less. Of course, if we are missing some documents or whatever, it might take longer. If there's a visa process somewhere somehow along the line, then it might take a little bit longer to get that done. But in general terms, I would say 1 week, and that's about it. In order to go, Richard, sorry.
Yeah, just to make yourself a break for 1 minute.
Thank you.
I want to add 2-3 points, maybe, Roman, on this. First of all, the English program pre-offer is free of charge, so there is not any additional cost, just for your information. And then the second point, the same is for the bachelor. If they have 5.5 in all the 4 components, they can enter with the bachelor program. I mean, this is a very important point that XCL is doing to every single student an interview, just to make sure that the student is on the level. This make for you take you a lot of work away from your side as well, because we know how much work is behind to decide, because they have to follow the concept from the University of Chichester anyway, so they cannot make a decision on their own. So this is very important. And I think that what is important as well, Sarah, you can show how they have to do the application, but I will send a link to Roman, which I recorded last time, so he can follow this as well, how to do the application, which is a very important point as well.
Yes, it's very easy, and that was my next point.
Yeah,
You see that seems to be having issues. So from our website, you will find, there we go. Let me see if I can share the screen for a second. There we go. Okay, so this is what our website look like. As you can see here, there's an apply now button. Okay, you click on that very easily, and it brings you to our student information system. You will need to put down the name, all the details from the student, not you, but from the prospective student. It will just ask at this stage, the mobile phone is not needed. You just put down name, surname, gender if it's possible, and the email address. Then you sign up, and that they will receive on that specific email address an email confirmation. You need to ask them to forward you the temporary password that the system has created for them. Okay, from there, then you can actually do everything you want and add all the information that are needed. Is a very simple system. Richard will show you the video. So it asks you stuff like the address, copy of the passport, academic transcripts, English certification, and it's very straightforward. Once you finish that, it takes no more than 5 to 7 minutes if you have the whole package of documentation ready with you. Then you will receive an email confirmation. At a certain point, there's a point that it's very important for you. Don't forget, when you receive the contract, you should have also received a voucher code. insert the voucher code in there so that we know that that student come from you.
Okay.
And that we can recognize and we know where to get all that kind of information, and make sure that from an administrative point of view we are all fine. Then you have just to select the program that they want to do and when they want to start. So they will be, say, September, November, January, or March. You choose one of these four, and you will be notified straight away that the application has been submitted. You will see it on the screen, so it will come up with thank you for successfully submitting the application form. Someone will reply you soon, and we will get a notification. So our admissions team will start working on it straight away. There are two possible scenarios. You did everything perfectly. All the documentation was there. It was very clear. We ask for interview during the day. We get the response. Once we have interviewed the student, then we send you the actual offer letter with the student in copy. This is to allow you to always keep track of what's going on. So you don't have to chase the prospective students and see whatever it is. It's good for you, but it's also good for us so that we have a complete transparent process in this case. Yeah. And if that's not the case, so we are missing some documentation, we'll still write to you and the student to request this stuff. So you know what to track down for us and what needs to be submitted additionally in order to get to a response. Yeah, but the process itself is seriously very, very easy. Did I forget something, Richard?
No. Everything is clear.
Okay.
The only part that is maybe you can add in addition.
Yeah.
During the teaching program, there will be as well assistant from tutor. Maybe this part is a very important part as well.
So,
that helps a lot of students.
Yes, so basically we have different people working in the academic area. So we have the teachers, so the professors that will teach normally a class, but on top of them we also assign what we call a tutor to the students. This is a central key role for us, because students can go to their tutors with questions related to, for example, administrative issues. I don't know how to, change my address. Can you help? I've been very, very preoccupied with the fact that, I'm stressing out. I don't know if I'm doing right. Can I talk to someone? And they will help. I didn't understand the topic this week. Can you please give me some pointers on that? They can either do that to the teachers or they can do that to the tutor. But imagine the tutor as the central, it's a sort of secretary that gives all the inside knowledge from the student, whatever happens to their life, whatever they need a form, or they want to try out something different, and then they revert back to faculty and administrative side of XCL. Now, what we call facilitator in Learning Center will then be in contact with the tutor. So for example, should you have someone in there that says someone that is behaving a bit strangely, or they feel withdrawn, or you see that they're not coming very willingly, or, some changes, and you can just say, okay, I've noticed this, or I've had trouble. Can you please confirm whether they paid or not? Should they pay directly to us? You can still go straight to the tutor. We also have another list of possible people to contact for centers, so that you have a straight communication line with us. But usually this is very important when it comes to dealing with the student life in a way that is fair. It doesn't burden the learning center too much.
Okay.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you very, very much. I know you're always very, very busy, but
not to worry. It's my pleasure.
It's Monday. You look very fresh.
Not really. When I look that fresh, it means I didn't sleep very well.
Okay.
Okay. So no, but no. That's absolutely fine. You know me. That's the part of my job that I like the most. So
I know, Sarah. Roman, any questions?
I have plenty, but maybe I will just.
Okay.
Well, just let's go very briefly.
Yeah.
Regarding experience of Xenophon College London, for how many years are you doing this online? I'm pretty sure.
So no, XCL has already started now in January, so we are very new. But our founder and the one that owns the whole XCL concept from 2006.
Okay. So
We have around 45,000 students enrolled at the moment. More than 100,000 have already graduated, and they have, amazing jobs everywhere. And we have also physical campuses. So we exist. We exist almost 20 years now. So yeah, in that sense, we should be knowing what we are doing in that realm.
My question was regarding it might be challenging because of the discipline of the students, because of the technology.
Yeah, I understand. So that's the reason why we invested lots of money when it comes to the digital infrastructure. So the actual program software that I was telling you about, Kaltura, that is the most expensive one that you can find out there. Okay.
I made a note how it is.
Yeah.
I will check it. Kaltura.
Kaltura with a K. Yes. And it's it's the only one that has a stamp for accessibility. We went overboard. Don't forget that we also need to get this stuff validated by first the University of Chichester, which of course looks at everything, and it looks at this not just in one time at the very beginning, but they checked, just to give you an example, in May, they checked in September, they now asked me for the password a month ago, and they looked at it last week again when we had additional validation events. So we are always monitored. So that is a sort of reassurance for you in this sense. But we are also, checked by the UK government. So there's a double kind of checks over that. But once you have, you have wrapped your head around it, we can schedule another meeting, and I can go through in details to show you what the platform look like, how that will work, and maybe see a bit of the videos that we how the student experience would look like. Yeah, which is important for you, but it also makes me very happy because it's very cool. So I don't have any issues showing it around. Yeah, not a problem, not a problem. In terms of teaching staff, we have staff from UCL, Imperial College London, the US. There's plenty of people from very outstanding universities around the world. And we do that on purpose because we want to provide our students with the best that we can. And because we are new and small, and we try to get from where we can the best that we can. So that is important too.
Okay, regarding the accreditation of the diplomas, so students will receive diploma from Xenophon or from Chichester? From
Chichester. So so what happens is once they have enrolled with us, they will receive a XCL account, which means they will have the Microsoft Office package given for free to them. But on top of it, they will also have a Chichester account. So they have an email address, and the University of Chichester will communicate to them the grades that we have decided. And after everything, all the whole process, they will still have some communication, the most formal ones from the University of Chichester directly to them. And they also have access to some infrastructure, digital and physical, that the University of Chichester has for them. So there's a digital library that they can use on top of ours. If they come to the UK, they can go and see the campus. They can also get an student ID card should they want to. Okay, so all of this is additional because of the relationship that we have with the University of Chichester. Now, when they end the program, they will receive a degree straight from the University of Chichester that will say something like, Mr. Roman has been awarded a BSc Global Management and International Business delivered by Xenophon College London. There will be no mention of distance learning whatsoever in the piece,
Okay.
the actual pergamon or parchment, whatever you want to call it. It will just say in the academic transcript, mode of study, distance learning, but in the actual proper certificate, nothing whatsoever about the mode of study.
Mhm. Excellent. Regarding the payment, so let's say they will receive confirmation letter from XLS that their studies will start.
Yeah.
They should pay upfront, or it's in 3 different payments, or but maybe with Richard we will.
Yeah. That is Richard's realm. I'll just give you the. I'll just stop with that.
Maybe last question, Sarah. Maybe last question.
Yeah, no, but let me just finish off that one on the question there. So, you know, when we send the offer letter, an email with a recap of how they need to pay and when they need to pay will come straight to you from the administration from XCL.
No, there are 2 ways that we.
Okay, there you go.
Roman. One way is that he's collecting the money. This is the decision that you have to tell me, or that he wants the student will pay directly to XCL. So in case the student pay directly to XCL, then in this case, they have to, when they register, they receive an invoice from XCL.
Okay.
This is how Sarah, this is how I discussed with the administrator last Friday.
Fantastic.
And they will send the invoice of 500, like the other 3 centers in Spain, in Rwanda, in Greece, and in Switzerland. They will send the invoice of 500, and then after the student will pay, Roman will know this, and then after they will make the second payment by the 30th of June and the last payment by the 30th of August. If vice versa, Roman will collect the money, then he has to pay within 30 days when the school program starts.
Okay.
On 10 September, he has to pay by the end of September. But this will be in the agreement that Mauro is preparing for Roman.
Okay.
So he will receive these details later, I presume today or tomorrow.
Okay. Maybe Sarah, last question, but also Richard, I know that you will be opening new programs from September, right?
Yes.
It will be not only those 2. When it will be updated on the webpage, so I can play with that and market it.
You sound very much like Richard. No, I'll tell you this, because we had the validation event last week. Yes. And we had an additional 4 courses, 1 bachelor and 1 master in applied computer science, so the whole cycle. And then we had the master in big data and digital skills for managers, and the master in green economy, climate change, so sustainability and climate change management. Okay. Now, in order for them to be visible, publicly on the website, we need to receive the piece of paper. They already said yes. We just need to receive the piece of paper that confirms it, so that no one can actually, from the government side, because they're not talking with Chichester, but they're talking with us, I can say, wait a second, is that been approved? Show me, and I don't have the piece of paper. So we're waiting for it. We're hoping to have it this week. If it's not this week, it will be next week. But from we're almost there. Before the Easter holidays, that will be it. Then we have additional courses on the pipeline, and they will hopefully be available by the end of 2022. As you can appreciate, there's lots of costs involved in validating courses, and we need to make sure that every course has a minimum number of students enrolled in them to make sure that the learning experience is valuable for everyone. Mm-hmm. So we try at the moment to concentrate as much as possible on the ones that we already have. So we had 6, now we had added in another 4, so we have a total number of 10 at the moment, and we will reach 14 in the next month or so.
Okay, perfect. And maybe final question.
Yeah.
It's different structure in education. It's in UK and different in Slovakia and Denmark.
Yeah.
And I want to ask, if someone wants to study, for example, at master degree for psychology, he's supposed to have psychology at his undergraduate studies, or for example, he finishes with marketing, like he will receive diploma from Slovakia or from Denmark in bachelor's, and he can